there is research out there showing that if you have a purpose, that can lead to profound favorable health impacts in the face of undesirable conditions. So actually my assistant passed something on to me recently showing that having a purpose can reduce incidences of persistent pain, or chronic pain. There was a seminar I took a while back by Dr. Brian Walsh, who's a naturopathic physician, very sharp, where there's actually an inverse relationship between pro-social behavior and the immune system versus inflammatory system response. So the more social I become, the greater immune boosting I have, and the less overworked my inflammatory system is. And if you think about it, like from a survival standpoint, it makes sense. Like if I sprain my ankle, I'm going to have people taking care of me. So I don't need a big immune system response. But I am going to more likely contract pathogens because people are gross, right? So I do need a more robust immune system. And then that flips actually when I'm more antisocial for the exact opposite reasons. If I'm not around people as much, my immune system doesn't have to be as active. But I need to heal that ankle sprain quickly. Otherwise, the saber-toothed tiger is going to get me. So my inflammatory markers are going to go up. But now here's the cool thing. If I have a purpose, I can potentially get those immune-boosting benefits and health benefits even in the face of not having a robust social circle. And so it just goes to show, like, having some of these fundamental things that aren't maybe often talked about can lead to widespread health effects. And I will say this, a lot of my most troubled patients and clients are oftentimes individuals who don't have that purpose, or their purpose has become finding their health, and they can't find anything beyond that.
Right.
And I'd venture to guess it's very similar with some of the people that you see, or people who are very focused on fixing their airway. And I would throw money down. And of course, I'm in Vegas, so I'm going to be throwing money down. That's very prevalent in the black pill community.
Yeah. The searching for the cure becomes the life purpose in and of itself, to the point where you almost don't want to find a solution, because then you have to graduate out of the space, and then what? Oh shit, now I really got to find something else.
Yeah.
You know, as an alternative, you could take your fascination with that space, start a YouTube channel about that, call it JawHacks, and then have that become your purpose, and then you can have the best of all worlds.
Yeah.
You can be in that space forever.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
Yeah. And I bet, Ron, that you doing what you're doing right now and being a steward to people in this space has probably had large health effects on you that you're probably unaware of.
Well, I am aware of them.
Or maybe.
Just because I'm super aware of my health, because it's been a fixation of mine, because I've been so sick for so long that I'm acutely aware of triggers and how different variables in my life affect me. And again, you probably don't know this, but there was about a year and a half between early 2020 and May 2022 where JawHacks was dead in the water. I didn't post at all.
Yeah.
And so during that time, when I was just doing my other job, which doesn't really have as much meaning for me, it's more of a job rather than a project and a passion that I really care deeply about, I was not right during that time. Something was missing.
Yeah.
Something was missing, and it's an X factor that, you know, when you have a why to get to the work you're doing, it allows you to deal with physical difficulties, which if you don't really have a why, you just become fixated on the physical difficulty, right? Like, oh, I didn't sleep good last night, so I'm not going to work today. But if it's for JawHacks, which is something I care about because there's other people that I feel like I'm helping, or even just because I can't deny it. There's this lizard brain thing about being an influencer where, like, human beings just love to get social verification. It is what it is. It's motivating to post a video and see the analytics on it. For better or for worse, it is what it is. But when you get that in your life, it feels good. And you're right, it smooths over a lot of the physical shortcomings that human beings inevitably have. And just a last comment on this, the weather in New England is brutal. And the winters are dark and long and cold, and you basically can't go outside for like 3 to 4 months out of the year without feeling physical pain. And what I have found in myself is that when I have no purpose, the winters are a lot harder. I become fixated on the weather. I'm just really upset. Oh my God, it's getting dark at 4 o'clock. And oh, when is spring coming? But I remembered back to when I was in college and high school, when I had social circle and when I had things to do. I never cared about the winter. I never thought of the winter as this tough time. It was just like another season. But in periods after I graduated, when there were ebbs and flows in my purpose and in my career, so to speak, I became way more fixated on the weather. And I think that's also a telling example of what you're describing, and about how purpose can basically smooth out so much of the noise that our bodies and our minds can otherwise throw at us.
Yeah. You were weathers maxing, you might say.
Oh man. Well, I was when I moved to Southern California. I was weathers maxing.
Hey man, that's why I'm here. Yeah, but
yeah, is that where you're in Vegas, right?
Yeah,
you're in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I hate being cold, but I definitely. I mean, I'm from Illinois originally, but as I got older, seasonal depression, like, definitely a thing. Definitely a thing.
For sure.
But to your point, because you have things that are bigger than you now that you have to deal with, it is amazing what stressors or less than ideal conditions you can deal with when you have something like that in place. And when you don't, it becomes much more difficult because you don't have that resiliency.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. It's exactly right. It's just a truth in life that's the case.
Yeah.
So again, just another thing that people need to address in their life to get their body and mind right. And it's not an easy one. That's a hard one, because that one literally requires a year doing this. No, I don't think it's that. A year doing that. Getting closer. A year doing this. Okay, now we're on to something. Oh, but to double down on that, I got to do 2 years of school to do this. That one takes, 10 years, I would say, unless you're lucky and you just know, and then you roll right out of school into something else, or, maybe you're one of those lucky kids who didn't, because kind of the approach that I've been pitching a lot to young guys is the trades, man. It's such a hack.
Oh, God.
Yeah. First of all, who the hell without getting too political, but who the hell wants to go to a university right now and just and be, it's not I wouldn't want to be in a university with all of the politics that's now involved in that, plus the debt, plus being a knowledge worker for the rest of your life, working for some corporation that's going to tell you what you can and can't do and think. You have to work on their schedule. Or you could go to a trade school, become an electrical apprentice, become a licensed electrician by the time you're 21, start your own business as an electrician, have a few trucks out on the road, hire some employees, and make, solid 6 figures working for yourself, being your own boss, running a business, driving around in your truck all day, working with your hands, doing manly things that just get your lizard brain really happy for mysterious reasons that we'll never understand, but it is what it is. You know it when you feel it. As opposed to the 21-year-old who graduates with, a philosophy degree like I did, and a mountain of debt, and now what? Oh, law school, another $300,000 in debt to then, be indoctrinated with more bullshit. Again, without getting too political.
Yeah.
But the trades are such a hack to young men. And it's the one space where it's especially a hack because, buy low, sell high. There's a lot of disdain toward the trades. No one really wants to do it. No one really wants to work outside in the winter, but working outside in the winter is such like a biohack because if you can withstand the cold, your body responds with so much happy chemicals. It's like a cold plunge, but you get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a path to self-employment, and it's something that can't be outsourced as well to China.
Or replaced by artificial intelligence or automation.
For sure.
There's,
For sure.
I mean, like, there's AI for copywriting now, or they're making artificial intelligence for content and marketing and stuff. So, and I even look in my profession. Anytime someone says, "Oh, I want to be a physical therapist," I say, "You sure?" Because for the amount of debt that's incurred compared to the amount that you make, it's for the overwhelming majority of people, unless they want to do a specific thing that only PTs can do, it's not worth it. And so I would echo exactly what you're saying. Like, the trades are a really good place to be. And also coding. Like, if you can get into coding, if you can get into media in some way, I mean, why is it most of the major tech companies are no longer requiring a college degree to work for them? It's because it's not essential.